2 days project. Let's had two problems with it. The first one was the pile of junk Tecumseh engine, which is out of there. There's a reason they're out of business. Picked up this engine on the side of the road. It was in a mulcher, and the recoil was broken. Long story short, that's fixed. So I retrofitted it to make it fit on this. The auger, when I'm running it with no load, the auger turns. In a minute I hit snow, the auger stops turning. What's going on is I think the keyway's sheared down in there, because I can see the shaft turning coming out of the engine, but the shaft going into the auger drive is not. It should be fairly simple. Should be. Let's see how this goes. Okay, the first thing you want to do is get this in neutral. The reason why is right there is the shifter spring, and you want it as relaxed as you can to get it off. And it looks like it's these 4 bolts here. I hope those are carriage bolts. I'm going to find out, because if not, then more of the front's got to come apart. So it's going to go spring, bolt, belt. That's easy enough to get off. That just slides up and around, and pull that right off the pulley. Pretty much I can do it right now. So let's give it a try. I don't think this is going to be hard, but it's going to be a pain in the butt is what it's going to be. You're going to want to get a socket like that. What the hell size is this anyways? 5/16. Then you can come down and you can loosen up the set screws that are on the shaft. There's 2 of them down there. For the spring, I'm just going to grab a big old pair of pliers. I'm going to try pulling it up and off. Okay. I got the rod for the adjustment here in my way. There's just 1 bolt. I'm going to pop that off real quick. Okay, now I got that rod out of the way, I can get in there. I'm going to use a pair of dikes, and I'm not going to squeeze so hard that it's going to damage the spring. What I'm going to do, it just gives me enough grip, hopefully, and enough room to get this out of there, and it's not. But what it's going to do, it is going to allow me to get a screwdriver in here to finish this job. So, gonna pull that forward. Of course, I need both hands. Try to pull it forward. Oh man, that's tough. Jesus, I just did it. To hell. Some sort of weakling here. There we go. Now I got a small screwdriver in. Oh, I need a bigger screwdriver. The smaller one ain't gonna handle this. God, it's always something, man. Oh. Woo! Don't let that spring disappear. Make sure it stays on that shaft there. Or not the shaft, but the adjuster linkage. Get the belt off right here. That's fairly easy. I can rotate this. I only loosened up 1 of those, and you can hear it bouncing back and forth off of that keyway. I'm pretty sure that keyway's not in the best shape. So loosen up this one too. Don't have to come all the way off. Well, that one just did. Oh, don't drop it. Oh, man. Oh, come on, come on. right here. This is one of the reasons my wife loves me right there. Pretty good with them digits. Get that out of the way. Now, there's 4 9/16 nuts, and I hope these are carriage bolts, and it appears they are because it's not moving. So let me get these 4 carriage bolts out of here, 2 on each side. The ones on the bottom are going to be a pain in the ass, and we should be able to separate this. Okay, just a little tip here. I had to kind of jerry rig a wrench, and all it is one of them curtain rods, or not curtain rods, but clothes rods, the cheapo ones you buy. And I just went ahead and put it in a vise and clamped it down so it would hold onto the ratcheting wrench. Another thing I learned was take the top bolts off last, because it flexes the thing, and it's tough to get the wrench in and out of there. So I'm going to work on those bottom bolts. Oh, and another thing, you do not have to take the lock or the set screws out, because that whole pulley is going to come out with the assembly. I can be such a dumbass at times. There's four bolts that hold that bottom cover on, and you can get right at them bottom bolts. So it pays to watch the whole video before you start the project, huh? Did I ever tell you how much I hate freaking mice? Jesus. Right there. There's the 2 bottom bolts. Let me get this mess out of the way. Wow, look at that. I can get a ratchet on there now. I replaced those bearings, I don't know, 6 years ago. The last few winters here are kind of blown, so we haven't had any need to use this thing. I still have one nut tightened up at the top, so that when I go to flip this back over, it's not all gonna come apart on me. Be sure not to have gas in the gas tank unless you want it everywhere. That's your choice. Let me get it flipped around. That was much easier taking that bottom plate out. Just got a couple more turns with this. Everything's going to just want to fall, so kind of hold it. Especially the engine's going to want to lean right back. There we go. There. Okay. Okay. That is off. And I see the problem. The pulley has come loose from where the set screw thread into. We're moving in here, so that means I got some welding to do. It's still a little tight on this shaft here, so the way I'm going to handle this is I'm going to put my pry bar in between the shaft housing and the pulley. Try tapping on the shaft. So it's pretty tight on there. Okay, it's moving in and out. Let me go get some jizz juice to put on there. Sometimes you need a little love potion put on this. I'll work this back in and out a couple times. Do I have a flare? Might have a flare on that. Not too sure. Yep, that's the problem. I got a solution for that. I did not create that this time. I may have created it a time or two before, but so basically, see if I can get that off because the pulley's moving freely on the shaft until it gets to the end, and then it doesn't want to come off. Yeah, let me work on that. You get the idea. Gonna have to spend about 5 or 10 minutes giving it the old back and forth to get it off. Okay, now we've had some foreplay time with it. There we go. Just needed a little bit of loving. Don't right there be the problem. Let's clean this up and get it to the welder. Well, this side only had 4 little weld points on it. What was happening is when I was running over deer carcasses, dead dogs, things like that, it was putting too much of a load on the auger, and then it was jumping and spinning around in here. So I am going to weld on that side. First thing you got to do is clean it up, because we all know how well a MIG welder welds to rust. Let me give this some time. Well, now that I spent some time cleaning this up, this was actually furnace brazed into place at one time. Let's see how the welding's going to go on this. It might cause a little bit of a problem. I don't want to just tack this in place on this side. Ah, okay, there you go. It is actually welding, believe it or not. But my helmet's not working worth a damn. The hell. Okay, I don't got the wobble now. Let's see if we can weld this up a little bit. Not wanting to weld really well because I got crud leaking out of that. Like I said, this was furnace brazed. Ooh, a little bit of a flare up there. It is not pretty, but it works. Think I should just pick it up or let it cool down. Okay, there's 2 set screws on this. One set screw bolts directly above the key. The other set screws off to the side, but it is on the round of the shaft. I don't like that because it could be prone to slipping. So I've taken a center punch here. Let me get this where it needs to be first. Hold on here. There we go. And then I am going to mark the shaft. Take the pulley back off, and depending on how hard that shaft is, I might put a flat on it, or I might drill a small recess hole in it so that the set screw can go into it and help lock itself in. If I decided to just put a flat spot on it, it'd be easier. There. Now it's going to have something to bite onto instead of a round shaft. Wow, there's a joke in there somewhere. Well, while you're in here, make sure this bronze bushing here it's like a ball bushing is good. You'll know if you can grab it. It's like a hot dog down a hallway. You know it's bad. So I got my flat on here. Remember which way you took the pulley off, because you don't want to put it on the wrong way. Make sure that that flat, yeah, I need to give it just a little bit more. And I put the hose and die grinder away. Okay, got that flat to where I want it now. You may ask yourself, why am I putting a flat on there? It didn't come with a flat from the Toro dealer. It's all about money, man. All about money. You put a flat on there, that's tooling that wears out. I'm making sure that this shaft is where it needs to be. I don't want it too far out of whack, but it's tooling that wears out. It's a process. What I'm doing is grabbing this inside shaft and pushing it down, or in this way, so I'm taking up the slack. And I'm going to use a little bit of the old blue Loctite. I know that was more than a little, but I'm compensating. Oh boy. Okay, here, this is the way we're going to do this. We're going to start these first, because I don't want to fight my hand trying to get in here. Ugh. What is going on? It's already giving me shit. What the hell? Of course, I'm not ready. Okay, there's one started. I clean these off with wire will and some brake clean first. This one's in the keyway, the one I just put on now, so you got to be careful not to have it go on too far, or it'll bugger up on the keyway. Okay, there we go. I think I got it. Let's tighten it up on the flat first, because that will lock the pulley in to where it needs to be, and then I'll tighten up the key one next. Look at that, I pulled that right in. That was amazing. Don't want to tighten them up too tight to where they break, but if they're too loose, they're not going to do their job. The Loctite will help the rest. There we go. Okay. I got a little bit of bend in the pulley, and I don't even care. This thing's not going to see any high RPM. I mean, the run out is maybe a little less than an 1/8 inch. I'm not going to worry about it. So, time to bolt all this back together. What I've done is I've got the 4 studs in the holes and the 2 top nuts just hand tighten on there. And the reason why is you have to have that separation to get this belt on here, or at least it appears to be. So I'm going to get the belt in here first, and then, or at least onto the back side of this pulley. And I'm already running into problems right here with the adjuster. So you might have to rotate with the belt and the pulley, rotate it around. And the thing is you can't put the belt on first because where the pulley goes through, there's not enough room to have the belt on there, or it's just a major pain in the ass. So belt's going on, and then I'm going to tighten up those bolts or those nuts, get the two halves back together. Okay, don't forget to put the spring back in. That cover, I ditched that a long time ago. So let's start this thing up. Come on, baby. It's running out of gas, but there we go. The problem is fixed. We're going to go with Castle Cream Ale. That was an easy fix. That took like, what, an hour and a half maybe? I like the easy ones.